soil soldiers. Today we're using hula hoops in the garden. Stay tuned. Well, we're about to see if I can turn this little patch of ground into a garden bed. The soil is crazy dry and rocky. Look at all the rocks I have raked to the side. Let's see if we can actually turn this into space to get some fall garden veggies actually in the ground for the first time. All right, now that the soil is a little bit loosened, just the top layer, I didn't want to dig too far down to try and not disturb, whatever beneficial organisms are down in there. But now I'm adding in some perlite to just make sure that this is loose enough for the plant roots to go down into, because it was pretty compacted. All right, so I bought these dowels at Lowe's. They're 1/2 inch and they're 12 inches long. These are going to be my supports. All right, so for this project, you are going to need to grab yourself some hula hoops from the Dollar Tree. They come in different sizes, so, get the larger ones so that you can have a bigger hoop. Now, I have one that isn't quite as large as the other two, see that? But it's close enough that I think it'll still work for me. I just have to be careful about how I do it. All right, so grab yourself some hula hoops and let's get started. You're also gonna need a box cutter. All right, you're gonna just cut these right in half. So this is what the bed is looking like so far. I've hammered in the dowels. Right, so there's 2 here, 2 here, and 2 here. Okay, now you just want to cut your hula hoop in half, one spot. You don't need to make 2 cuts, just 1 cut to separate it. And make sure that you take a moment to just measure the diameter so that you'll know what size dowel to get. Hula hoops do come in different sizes, so make sure you measure your diameter. This is 3/4 of an inch, and so I bought 1/2 inch dowels so that I'd have just enough room to get it on top of here without it being a whole lot of space. And then you just slide that right on down. Okay, we'll come over here and do the same thing. Right on top of the dowel and slide that down. Okay, and look, a beautiful arch. I'm gonna do that 2 more times so that we have 3 rings going across. All right, all 3 hoops are now in place. Kind of looks like a little candy cane Christmas row. But now that the structure is in place, I'm gonna return to working on the soil. This is just, my native soil with some perlite mixed in. I'm now gonna add a layer of compost. I've got some black cow right over here. And I'm gonna work that into the soil and add some other amendments, some bone meal, blood meal, and some of that pride lands as well for the beneficial bacteria. I'm also adding some of this Stay Green flower and vegetable garden soil just to make sure that there is enough soil to plant in, because I only scratched up the surface of my native soil and I want to make sure I have enough to actually plant in. So this is the compost layer here, and then this is some of that Stay Green soil, and I'm gonna spread that out as well. All right, so things are moving right along, and let's take a closer look. This is a mixture of blood meal, bone meal, and pride lands. Okay, and this is the pride lands that I've been using. It's a 6.3 3.5, and there are a whole host of beneficial bacteria, mycorrhizae, and all sorts of good things. All right, I have more detailed information on that in another video, which I will link in the description, so you can check that out. All right, the soil is all amended, so I'm starting to dig my holes so I can start planting. Once everything is in, I'll come back and show you what it's looking like. Yay! It's looking like something. Okay, some of these are looking a little sad because they are thirsty, but not too shabby. So what I have is collard greens, cabbage, collard greens, and then the same over here. Collard greens, cabbage, collard greens. I'm sorry, actually that's cabbage. It was supposed to be collard greens. However, I could not separate these two plants. They are just really completely tangled together. I did my best, so I am hoping that they will survive the trauma of me trying to separate them. But I just decided to leave it be. We'll see if, one is growing better than the other, then I'll probably either relocate it or just sacrifice it. Most likely relocate it. But I did pop another cabbage over here just to fill that space and not have nothing there. So this is for veggie, of course. So we need to protect them from the moths so that they don't lay those cabbage worms all over the place. And we also need to protect them from the squirrels. So we're going to take advantage of these hoops here. And these are nice and sturdy. If you make sure that you drive your dowels halfway into the ground, so I got 12-inch dowels. If you drive them in a good 6 inches and then put your hoop on, it's not going anywhere. See that? None of them. All of them are nice and firm, stable. They're going to be able to withstand any kind of wind and whatnot, and they are really anchored down into the ground. So this is going to be really good. So what I'm going to do to protect these is I'm going to cover them in tulle. And that will allow rain and sunlight to come through and still protect them from the cabbage loopers and the squirrels. All right, let me get this on and then we'll wrap it up. Ta-da! My very first in-ground bed, you guys. I'm so excited. I'm so excited for it. This is awesome. So I've got 3 pieces of tulle just to make sure everything's secure. So I have a piece that covers this half of the hoop house, and then I have another piece that covers this half of the hoop house, and then there's another piece, the third piece and the last piece just goes straight across and covers the sides or the ends of the hoop house. And I've just weighted down with some bricks because if I need to get in here, this will be an easy way for me to just move the bricks out of the way, lift this flap up, and then I can go ahead and do whatever I need to do, lower that flap down, secure it back with the bricks. And then the same thing is over here, right? I can just move these out of the way, flip that up, and gives me easy access.
If you're interested in recreating this project, this is what it will cost. Less than $25 is definitely a win in my book, especially since you get 120 feet of that tulle. That is way more than you'll ever need for this project. You'll be able to cover multiple garden tunnels with that much tulle.
All right, soil soldiers, thank you so much for watching and hanging out with me today. If you had a good time, and I sure hope that you did, please hit that like and subscribe button. And I will see you all next time on the Weekend Garden Show.